It was the early 2000s. My name is Michelle. I was 47 at the time, and business process outsourcing, BPO for short, was just beginning to boom in the Philippines. Back then, we were struggling badly. My husband had just been laid off from his job. Caught in the crossfire of office politics, he became the sacrificial lamb. Management gave him two choices: resign quietly or risk being blacklisted by every major company in the country. Either way, the outcome was the same. No one would hire him after that. I was desperate. I looked into BPO work. The pay was decent, even for someone without prior experience. Promotions were fast as long as you showed potential, even if the shifts were overnight. I decided to go for it. When I talked to my husband, he hesitated. He didn't want me working nights. Said he'd find a way to recover, but I told him I wanted to help, even just for now. Eventually, he gave me his blessing. I submitted my application to one of the top BPO companies. Days later, I got the call. I passed the exam and was placed in training. I remember my first night so vividly. I wasn't nervous about the job or the training itself. I was nervous because everyone there looked so young. Some were easily the age of my eldest. I felt out of place. On that first night, something odd caught my attention. Whenever a female trainee needed to use the restroom, our trainer would always ask them to go with a friend. It felt strange, but I let it slide. During break time, I sat alone in a corner table at the cafeteria. I didn't want much attention. These kids were laughing, chatting, so full of energy. I, on the other hand, was just trying to stay awake. The next day, after our first class ended, I approached our trainer and asked for a quick restroom break. He nodded, but again insisted that someone accompany me. A classmate named Jen volunteered. She said she needed to go too, so we went. While washing my hands, I casually asked her, "Why does our trainer always insist someone comes along to the restroom?" She paused, slowly looked at me. "You haven't heard about Jun Jun?" I furrowed my brows. "Jun Jun." She let out a tiny screech of a laugh, then whispered, "He's the ghost of a little boy. Mischievous. They say he knocks, peeks, or touches you if you're alone here." She said Jun Jun died during the building's construction. He fell. His soul never left, even after multiple blessings by priests. He still lingers. I tried to act surprised. I didn't believe in ghosts, but I didn't want to be rude. "That's creepy," I said, half smiling. Then we both hurried back to class. But from that moment on, things began to change. A few nights later, I arrived just a hair short of being late. I logged in at the lobby, rushed toward the elevator, but missed it by seconds. I stood there, waiting, and for some reason, I remembered the story of Jun Jun. I brushed the thought away. "Don't spook yourself, Michelle," I told myself. The elevator door opened. I stepped in, alone. The lobby was empty. Training was about to start. I pressed the 10th floor and waited. Suddenly, I felt a cold chill run up my left arm. I rubbed it off, but it didn't go away. Then came the goosebumps, slowly rising up my arm, a creeping sense of awareness I was not alone. The floor indicator blinked. 6, 7, 8. Then I saw something in the reflection on the elevator doors, a small blurred silhouette standing beside me. I froze. I tried to tell myself it was just the curve of the metal, just a trick of the light, just a dash. 9. Then something ice cold gripped my arm. I screamed. The elevator doors opened and I ran out, trembling. I rushed to class. My trainer greeted me casually. "Good evening, Mitch. Take your seat." But I couldn't shake it off. I sat there, zoning out, my mind spinning. Then, as my trainer walked past me during his lecture, something flickered in my peripheral vision. It looked like someone was walking alongside him. I looked up, and what I saw locked me in fear. An old woman, stringy long hair, dressed in a dirty, tattered white dress. Her eyes were fixed on him, staring with hatred, her expression full of rage. She moved as he moved, like a shadow chained to his soul. I looked down and kept my head lowered the rest of the class. During our short break, my trainer came over. "You've been quiet," he said. I just smiled faintly, barely looking at him. But the old woman, she was still standing behind him. I excused myself. I couldn't say anything. All throughout, I felt nauseous, like something inside me was unraveling. I waited for class to end, then went home in silence. I didn't show up the next night. I felt drained, empty, like a part of me was pulled out and left behind. The following days were calm, except my trainer was suddenly absent. They said he wasn't feeling well. Then came the final week of training. Mock-up calls, hands-on practice. At first, everything went well. The trainers praised me, but then I started hearing faint cries, static. I dismissed it as line interference, but the cries became clearer. It was a child's voice, a boy. Then, out of nowhere, a blood-curdling scream exploded through my headset. "Get out!" I tore the headphones off and gasped. My trainer ran out of the observation room. What happened? I looked at him and said, "Sir, I don't think I can continue. I'm not fit for this job." He asked why. What changed? I just said, "I can't. I'm sorry." He paused, then muttered, "They keep getting the best ones." I asked, "Who?" He just looked at me, shook my hand, and said, "You know who. You had the potential to be a team leader, even a trainer like me, but I understand. You can head to HR if you're sure." That night, I submitted my resignation. I left quietly, just like the others before me. If you ever find yourself working the graveyard shift, and the elevator door opens for you, even when no one else is around, think twice before stepping in alone. Because Jun Jun might just be waiting. If this story gave you chills, make sure to follow and subscribe for more true horror tales. And remember, not all workplace drama ends at 5 p.m. Sometimes it follows you home.